What's going on, YouTube? My name is Cyb Guy, and we are going to start looking at these Ryza Pods. So, a little about myself. I'm just now starting out in mycology. I've got a little bit of history with it. Haven't done too much. I've currently got a monotub going on of some lucid gates. But what I think is interesting about this is just it's an all-in-one grow. It's very simple. Inoculate, kind of forget, wait for full colonization, and then put into fruiting. Pretty simple. As a beginner myself, I think this is kind of just a cool concept, especially if there's people that are interested in mycology, but they're a little kind of turned off by just not knowing what to do. So I think this could be a really cool gift idea. So I'm really hopeful that these work out. So I've got 4 of these. We're going to inoculate it with Golden Teacher live culture that comes to us from Microvora. They're local to Colorado Springs. Give them a shout. Take a look at their stuff. They got some good stuff. So I want to start off by saying that the reason that I am doing this is because there's not a lot of information on the Ryza Pods, especially on YouTube, with anything successful regarding flushes. I've looked it up. I'm a YouTube guy. I really like researching, finding videos. I like learning by visually watching. So I was a little disappointed when I was looking these up on YouTube and there's videos starting the whole process, but there's no completion. There's no, hey, by the way, I experienced contamination, whatever, you know. There's just nobody out there really showing or really giving any good information about the Ryza Pods specifically. I just haven't seen much success. Now, if you look on Reddit, on some of the pages or the subreddits that are out there, you will see pictures of successful harvests from the Ryza Pods, which is promising. So I'm really excited about that. So, like I said, what we're going to do, we're going to inoculate 4 of these with the live culture from Microvora. So these are 20 cc live culture syringes. So what we're going to do is we are going to inoculate each one of these with 10 cc's of live culture. Now, I will say what I'm going to do is I'm a beginner. I have an idea of what I'm doing. It's not super hard. I'm not going to document every little step that I do. Just know that everything has been clean, sanitized, and I'm going to take a break, inoculate these between inoculations, because like I said, 20 cc's, 40 cc's altogether. So I'm going to have to flame sterilize the needle that is provided in this live culture bag. So the nice part that I really enjoy about this is the no bullshit, here's instructions. I like to read. Are you literate? Can you read? Sweet. If so, then this is for you. All you have to do is follow simple instructions. So what we're going to do is inoculate all 4 of these, which they're off to the side, the rest of them. And then we're going to continue our little docu-series of the Ryza Pods. So bear with me. Okay, so these 2 have already been inoculated. These 2 are about to be inoculated. So remember, with this, you need to be very, very clean and sterile. So this just came out of the packaging. It had a black top on prior to putting on the needle, which was already clean, sanitized, pre-packaged, all that. If you were to get that style of liquid culture, make sure you do not touch any part of the needle. Keep it in the plastic wrap, put it on top of the syringe, screw it on without touching any part of it. Now, you'll see a lot of videos where people are wearing gloves. Yes, probably a good move. However, I think it can be done without gloves, without any issues. As long as you are already a clean person, you are using isopropyl alcohol. Remember, 70%. Spraying my hands now. So, with all of this in mind, this has already been wiped down with an alcohol wipe, but I'm going to just demonstrate how to do it for anybody that might not understand or know what to do. So this is 70% isopropyl alcohol, just a plain paper towel, couple sprays. These have already been entirely wiped down, but what you need to make sure you do is to wipe down this self-sealing or self-healing injection site. And that's what I'm doing now. So, little backstory, I have to do injections on myself with medication. So when you are, got a little paper towel on there. When you are sanitizing these with isopropyl alcohol, it's best to do it. You're looking 3 to 5 seconds. You're gonna kill pretty much any germs. You'll be good. But you wanna get full coverage. Now, with all of this in mind, so the one thing I like, the one thing I really like about Microvora is these are never just 20 cc's. These are almost always above the line, so you always get a little bit more, which is kind of just a nice little addition, little freebie. So what we're gonna do, we're going to inject in this one first. Now, when we're doing these injections, I don't want to just go inject straight down. Now, you have to remember that this is not centered. So what I want to do to get the, I guess, best, fastest colonization is I want to try to inject as close to the center of these Ryza pods as I possibly can. Because of that, this is offset. So I'm going to come in at an angle, try to go into the center. All right, so get a little bit of fluid out of there, and now we are going to inject to about 13 to 12 cc's. 12 and a half. Okay. Pull out. Now remember, these are self-sealing. Now, that one's been inoculated. But since this one has just been inoculated, since we are using this one syringe of live culture, this one's been inoculated. This needle is now contaminated. Think of it that way. We are now going to flame sterilize this needle for approximately 30 seconds. Essentially, I want to make sure that this needle is red hot. You're gonna hear some sizzle, some crack, maybe get a little bit of fluid on you on the live culture. There's the sizzle. I'm gonna try to go up this needle as far as I can without melting the plastic. Come back. You'll see people using torches with these. It is a lot faster. I just don't have a torch. Now, with all that said, okay, cool. Whatever was in that needle is now fucked, right? There's any live culture that was still within this needle is toast due to that heat. So I want to wait for this to cool down a little bit. It's sterile, it's clean, right? Now, some people will use alcohol wipes to wipe this down. I'm not a fan of that. I don't really want to prick myself. But right now, I'm gonna wait for this needle to cool down, because the last thing I wanna do is push liquid culture through this needle and possibly kill what might help colonize this Ryza Pod, right? So, should be cool. It's thin metal, it's not a lot of metal. It should cool very quickly. Now, we're gonna push just a smidge live culture through. Right now, we're sitting at about 12 cc's. And we're going to inject. By the way, I forgot to mention, prior to this, I shook up this live culture to really distribute it and make sure that it's not super concentrated in certain points of the vial versus others. So I want to try to keep it as distributed as possible, right? Okay. Remember, be careful when putting your cap back on. And you can always just pop this off. Dispose the sharps. Okay, so all of these pods have now been successfully inoculated. So we shall see how successful this is. Hopefully within, I would say, about a week or two. A week of colonization, you're not going to see a whole lot out of this. I saw estimations of about 8 weeks for full colonization. Now, it all depends on, obviously, what you're inoculating it with. If you're inoculating with spores, if you're inoculating it with live culture, it really just depends. So, these have all been inoculated. Now, these are self-healing injection sites, but just as precaution, we're going to kind of come back through. We're going to just clean these off. And now that these have been inoculated, we can now remove these stickers, which is going to help allow these to have some fresh airflow through this Microvora tape. So, we shall see how these progress. So, the one nice thing with these is you can kind of get these to get a little more coverage, keep a little bit of the light out. Now, I will recommend that when you are storing these, keep them in a nice, comfortable room temperature. Keep them somewhere dark. I have a little chest that I'm going to be putting these in, and they're going to be basically sitting in for at least the next, I will say, being optimistic, we'll say 4 to 6 weeks. From there, we will then decide when they are good to go into fruited conditions. Now, with all of that said, I think this is a really cool option for somebody that is looking to get into growing. It could be a really cool gift. I don't want to say I'm very much autistic into this hobby yet, but it's very interesting. I think it's really cool. I think psilocybin mushrooms are a saving grace for a lot of people. I know for me, when I microdose, it's extremely helpful. So it's kind of it's a cool idea that I can grow my own medicine that can assist me in just day to day. So with all that in mind, let's see how these go. Hopefully they work. I'm assuming a little bit of risk here. I think at least one of these is going to contaminate. Now, like I said, I've only had about one grow so far. I have not hit harvest. I'm currently in fruiting conditions right now, and they are starting to pin. They've doubled in size already, and I'm feeling very optimistic about that. So hopefully that goes over well, and hopefully this goes over well, and I hope some of the information that I gave you was helpful. Stick around, and I don't know, hopefully I gave you some good content. Thank you.